We're live in Joliet, Illinois at the Sullivan Center here on the campus of the University of St. Francis. Welcome aboard. Terry Bondadano with you on the call for tonight's CCAC matchup between the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints and the Roosevelt University Lakers. Two teams at midcourt ready to go. Aitor Anabadarte against Ayo Ajiboye, and the tip is won by Ajiboye and Roosevelt. The Lakers, wearing black, go from left to right. Here in the first half, St. Francis in goal goes from right to left for the first 20 minutes of today's game. Saints looking to start the season 2-0 this year as Ajiboye misses from close range. Nadav Gerner comes away with the rebound. Saints are coming off of a 4-game road trip. Carter Fahey finds E.J. Charles, who's bumped on the floor. No shot there. Foul called against Roosevelt. It'll be an inbounds play from the baseline for St. Francis. Foul is called on Matt Myers, fifth-year senior from Lombard, Illinois. Saints basketball. Aitor Anabadarte bounces to Carter Fahey. Fahey fires inside of the cutting Darius Wright, and Wright is able to finish at the rim. Saints strike first today. They lead it 2-0 as Julio Montez sets up the offense for the Lakers. Montez passes up top to Lucas Jordan. Fired back out to Montez. He stepped on the sideline, I think. We're going the other way. Nice little pump fake from Montez, but he took a step back and he turns it over. Roosevelt has played 7 games this year. They're 4-3. Including 3-1 in the CCAC. For St. Francis, this is just the second official game of the season as Nadav Gerner streaks to the hoop and lays it in. 2 assists already for Carter Fahey as the Fighting Saints lead it 4-0. Nadav Gerner is on the board for the first time. Montez bounces in low to to Matt Myers. Got the pass from Julio Montez. Myers backs in on E.J. Charles, gets him in the air, and he draws the foul. Myers is going to the line for 2 shots. As I said, just the second game of the season for the Fighting Saints. They defeated Calumet College of St. Joseph for their first win of the year, and then last week they took a trip down south to Texas and Louisiana. They played 4 straight exhibitions against higher level competition. Myers makes the first of 2 free throw attempts. They lost all 4 games, which is to be expected, facing Division I and II schools, but 2 of the 4 were very close games, came down to the final minute. 1 of 2 for Myers. And now the Saints return to conference play. Their record not as flashy as most teams. They're playing just their second regular season game. E.J. Charles squares it up, but good defense by Matt Myers. Here's Fahey in the post, backing in on Ajiboye. Fahey turns around, puts it up off the glass with the right hand, and hits it a little bit too hard. We're going the other way. This is Myers with the pump fake, gets to the free throw line, kicks it outside. Ajiboye gets his man in the air, drives baseline and throws it away. Intercepted by Nadav Gerner. He pushes the break ahead to Darius Wright. Wright stumbles going up off the backboard, no good. Some contact but no foul. Wright is shaken up as he takes himself up off the ground and goes the other way. Missed shot, but Ajiboye is there with the putback, and Roosevelt has their first field goal of the game. The whistle blows for Darius Wright's injury, but he's walked it off. He's ready to continue. Gerner sets up the offense for St. Francis. They scored on their first 2 possessions. They're now looking to get back on the board. Aitor Anabadarte, the junior center, passes it up top to Darius Wright. Wright fires down low to E.J. Charles, who scores, and a foul. E.J. Charles scores his first 2 of the game. Up and down start to the season for E.J. Charles, who is the leading returning scorer from last year. Scored 8 points in the season opener against Calumet. Just 4 field goal attempts in that game for Charles. He makes his free throw here, 7-3. He had a 15-point game on the road trip, but not able to score consistently in those exhibitions, as Darius Wright nearly came away with a steal. Corner three-pointer is a little bit short from Jared Borer. And the Saints come away with the rebound. Nadav Gerner streaks to the hoop. He's fouled by Borer. Second foul called in as many possessions against Roosevelt. The third foul of the half on them. And Gerner's going to the line for 2 shots. First free throw attempts of the season for Nadav Gerner, who did not score in 23 minutes of play in the season opener. He's already got 2 points tonight, trying to add to it. First free throw misses. 7-3 lead for the Saints after 3 minutes of play. A good start for St. Francis. Second game of the season, second conference game of the season. They've both been here at home. Second free throw is good. He makes 1 of 2. Julio Montez carries it across half court, walks it to the left side. Moves to the left around Gerner, runs right into Carter Fahey, nearly threw it away, but Ajiboye was there to clean it up. Here's Yuri Swinford now. Swinford spins around Anabadarte and loses the ball in the process. E.J. Charles comes up with the steal. Saints can extend the lead. A good start for St. Francis today. E.J. Charles for 3. A little bit long. And the rebound to Ajiboye. Julio Montez around a screen to the right. Passes back up top to the left side now. It's Jared Borer. Swinford takes 1 dribble, kicks it outside. Half the shot clock used up as they fire down low to Swinford, and a foul on the floor. Second foul on St. Francis.
St. Francis foul, number 32, Carter Fahey.
Goes on Carter Fahey, his first. Lobbed into Swinford, who turns to face the basket. 1 bounce from Swinford, down low. Ajiboye, the leading scorer this season for Roosevelt, adds 2 with a nice little left-handed hook shot. 15 points per game for Ajiboye. Julio Montez scores 16 a game, but he's only played half the games this season. Darius Wright drives, bounces into Anabadarte, who flushes it with 2 hands. And a timeout called by Roosevelt as they go down 10-5, 15:35 to play in the first half. First points of the game for Aitor Anabadarte. 4 out of the 5 starters have scored now for St. Francis. They've each got 1 field goal. The only one not to have scored so far is Carter Fahey, who's got 2 assists, so everybody chipping in early. And D. Brown doesn't like what he's seen so far, so he calls a full timeout very early in the game. D. Brown, the first-year head coach for Roosevelt, former NCAA All-American. Spent the last several seasons as an assistant at UIC and getting his first head coaching job now for a Roosevelt team in transition. Coming off of a good season last year. If all goes according to plan, this will be the penultimate season in the CCAC for Roosevelt. So these Saints-Lakers matchups will not be commonplace after next year. Roosevelt is planning on moving to NCAA Division II for the 2024-25 season. There's still a lot of red tape that's got to be cleared up before that becomes official, but that's the plan as of right now. This athletics program for Roosevelt has been on the rise. They're the top 25 football team this season. Basketball team's been much improved the last couple of years, but off to a slow start tonight. They've got just 1 field goal so far. Actually 2, sorry, both from Ajiboye. Nearly 5 minutes into the action. Julio Montez will try to change that as he takes possession here and passes off to Yuri Swinford. Swinford takes it down to the baseline. With his back to the basket, turnaround on Fahey, no good, and there's Ajaboye with the follow. Ajaboye is given a delay of game warning here. But he's got 6 points now. He is 3 of 5 from the field. The rest of the team just 0 for 2 so far. Lakers put on the full court press here against St. Francis, who has gone to their bench for the first time. Jalen Reno is in along with Lewis McGlasson. Fahey tries to get the backdoor pass to Darius Wright, but it's deflected and taken away. Julio Montez with a chance on this possession to tie the score. Shane Stevenson hands it to Jared Borer. Borer slips, but is still able to get it off to Stevenson. Shot clock at 10 for Julio Montez. Montez has it stripped by Darius Wright. Bounced ahead to Reno. 1 on 3, takes it in anyway. Reverse layup is good for Jalen Reno. Ajaboye is fouled on the other end. Jalen Reno's got his first points for St. Francis. He did not play against Calumet. Transfer from New York. Attended Sullivan the last couple of years, a SUNY school. Brianna Maxwell Topia is in for the Fighting Saints. They've also called on Kazmir Ochiaka. So Darius Wright's the only starter on the floor right now for the Fighting Saints. Tyrese Spencer fires it off to Matt Myers. This is Shane Stevenson driving with the left hand. Pull up in the paint, comes up a little bit short over Ochiaka. Saints lead is still 5 with 14 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Ochiaka. Hand off to Darius Wright. Wright drives and kicks looking for Lewis McGlasson, and those two were not on the same page. It's a St. Francis turnover. Second one of those tonight. Tyrese Spencer sets it up for the Lakers with Montez on the bench. Spencer drives over 2 Saints. Can't get it to the hoop. Lewis McGlasson was on the baseline as he pulled that ball in, so it's Roosevelt basketball. Saints never had possession, so the shot clock is at 20 for the Lakers. Looked like McGlasson was able to pull in that miss, but as he came down with the ball, his foot was on the baseline. Myers inbounds it to Spencer. This is Stevenson now. Handoff back to Myers coming around from the corner. Bounce down low to Stevenson. Backing in on Ochiaka. Turnaround shot is good. Reno dribbles it across half court. Guarded tightly by Jared Borer. Off to McGlasson. Lewis McGlasson, 3-point shooting specialist for the Fighting Saints. This time drives and is called for the travel. Saints have led since the very first possession. Roosevelt can tie the score with a 3-pointer here. Tyrese Spencer, guarded by Reno. Around a screen, Reno sticks with him. Gets another screen, looking inside. Picked out to Borer. 3-pointer for the tie is good. 12 all, with just over 12 minutes to play in the half. Brianna Maxwell Topia off to Reno for the Saints. Doubled off to Darius Wright. Wright looking in the paint. Trying to get it to Ochiaka. It's taken away by Nwosu, and a foul is called on St. Francis. Kazmir Ochiaka is credited for that one. Chima Nwosu got the steal, and he was pushed out of bounds. So things are unraveling a little bit for St. Francis. They've gone over 2 minutes without scoring. And Roosevelt has scored 5 in a row since then to tie it up. They could take their first lead of the game right here. Spencer is stripped by Ochiaka, and he fouls Ochiaka, trying to get the ball back.
Roosevelt foul number 13, Tyree Spencer, his first, team score.
12-22 on the clock. This will be real fun in about 10 seconds. Waiting with bated breath. Jake Carley checks in for Darius Wright. He's number 24, which is double 12. That number's just all over the place right here. There it is. Lewis McGlasson up top, off to Carley on the right side. Back up to McGlasson, three-pointer is good. Saints back in front on the Lewis McGlasson three-pointer. His first points today. It snaps a scoreless drought of over 2.5 minutes for the Fighting Saints, but a quick answer from Tyree Spencer. The junior guard knocks down a short jumper for his first points today. Jalen Reno near half court, directing his teammates. It's off to Carley on the right wing. Maxwell Topia over to the left side. Reno fakes left, steps right, fires the three. It's off the mark. Rebounded by Tyree Spencer. Roosevelt once again can take their first lead of the game right here. Stevenson tries for it and hits the three. Took them nearly 9 minutes, but the Lakers are in front for the first time, 17-15. Three-pointer for Stevenson. He's got 5 points now. Second most on Roosevelt, behind Ajiboye 6. Maxwell Topia tries to bounce it in low to Ochiaka, but can't find him. Taken away by the Lakers. And a foul called as Swinford has Carley reach in on him. And Jake Carley is called for his first foul. It's the 5th on the team. Julio Montez, the very impressive freshman point guard, back in there for the Lakers. Montez throwing it up top to Shane Stevenson. Stevenson cut in, but he's able to chase it down in the backcourt. Into the corner, it's Spencer. Pull-up jumper for Spencer, off the back iron, no good. Maxwell Topia works across half court, takes it all the way inside, blocked from behind by Yuri Swinford, but he's called for the foul. Fifth foul on the team. Matt Myers is already on the bench with 2. Just about 9.5 minutes in. Rihanna Maxwell Topia's first free throw is good. Fourth free throw attempted by the Saints today. They've made 3 of them. And now at 4 for 5. We've got ourselves a tie score. 17 all with 10.5 minutes to play. Shane Stevenson walks to the left, picks up his dribble, stripped by Ochiaka, but picked up by Montez. His three-pointer misses short. Rebound tipped around, and Reno comes away with it. Reno passes to his right. McGlasson, another 3. It's good. 2 in a row for Lewis McGlasson. Saints are back in front. Spencer drives. He's fouled by McGlasson. Actually, it looks like they've given that foul to Jake Carley. That's Carley's second foul. Two shots here for Spencer. That foul has also put the Saints at their limit, so Roosevelt will get free throws on every foul for the rest of the half. Ayo Ajiboye is back in. Shane Stevenson grabs a seat after an impressive run. Freshman scored 5 points in his 5 minutes. Second free throw good for Spencer. 1 point game. Saints had scored 5 in a row prior to those free throws. Lewis McGlasson out to half court. Maxwell Topia. Now on the right wing, it's Reno. Jake Carley comes around the screen. Picked up well by Spencer. Deflected, taken away by Swinford. Swinford gives it up to Nwosu, who loses his footing. Foul call. A little bit of contact on Chima Nwosu as he came by with the ball. But it wasn't until he started to trip about a step and a half later that the foul was called. Tried to hold his footing initially, but he is going to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. Chima Nwosu is just a 58% free throw shooter. Roosevelt does not have any rebounders down there. And an easy grab for Casimir Ochiafa after the miss on the front iron. E.J. Charles back on the floor for St. Francis. Ochiaka has it. 2 dribbles, stripped, and picked up by Swinford. There goes Nwosu with the initial strip. Swinford with the steal, and he lays it in on the other side. Roosevelt is back in front. Here's Jalen Reno for the Fighting Saints. Walking across half court, pass to McGlasson. Back up to Reno. Dribbling from the left. Gives it inside to Ochiaka, and Ochiaka is fouled on the shot. This will be a 2-shot foul. Casimir Ochiaka will get a chance to tie the score and take the lead. He's 0 for 1 from the line so far. That's on the season, not in the game. He missed his only attempt against Calumet. First foul shot is good this time. Again, this is the 6th game that the Saints are playing in the last 2 weeks, but the last 4 were all exhibitions against Division I and II competition down in Texas and Louisiana. The season starts in earnest for the Fighting Saints today. Ochiaka makes 1 of 2. Aitor Anabadarte grabs the rebound. Nice fake. Stripped and fouled by Lucas Jordan. A lot of fouls in this first half. It's already the 15th between these two teams. 2 shots for Anabadarte. It was a shooting foul. Both teams are in the bonus now. First free throw is good, and the Saints are back in front, 22-21. Carter Fahey returns to the floor. Nadav Gerner is in for the Saints, so Lewis McGlasson is the only reserve who remains out there. Anabadarte makes 2 of 2. Here's Darius Wilson. Wilson loses the ball, and McGlasson comes up with it. Fahey hands it to McGlasson. McGlasson drives, floats it off the backboard and in. Junior forward has 8 points now for the Fighting Saints. We have a 2-score lead once again. There's a traveling violation on Julio Montez. St. Francis has led most of the way here. Roosevelt came back to take the lead, but since then the Fighting Saints have outscored them 8-3. Charles passes into Gerner, kicked out to Anabadarte, 3-point attempt, too strong, and a loose ball foul is called on St. Francis. This goes on to Nadav Gerner, it looks like. Nope, E.J. Charles. Stop guessing. Second foul on E.J. Charles, and we'll walk down the other way. You got a 1-and-1 from the line here for Roosevelt. Free throw shooter is Lucas Jordan. Jordan is a 6-point per game scorer. Not a lot of attempts from the line, but he hasn't been good. 4 of 8 this year. That's Roosevelt's percentage today as well. They're 2 for 4. First shot is good. That actually makes them 4 of 6. I was reading the wrong column on the stat sheet. 2 of 4 from 3-point range. 4 of 6 from the line. 4 of 7 as he makes 1 of 2. Carter Fahey across half court. Fires into the corner for McGlasson. McGlasson drives, layup, no. And a foul called on Roosevelt. Aitor Anabadarte is going back to the free throw line. It's been a physical game so far. The refs are calling it very tight. That one a pretty obvious foul. It's on Yuri Swinford, his second. Stevenson checks in for Swinford, the second starter for Roosevelt to pick up his second foul. So both Swinford and Myers are on the bench right now for D. Brown's team. Anabadarte makes the first in a 1-and-1. He's 3 for 3 from the line, and he remains perfect. 5-point lead for the Fighting Saints. This match is their largest. They've been up by 5 a number of times today. Montez, hounded by Gerner, fights his way inside, picks up his dribble and bounces it out to Jordan. Lucas Jordan on the drive, lays it up and misses. Rebound, Anabadarte. Good ball movement by the Fighting Saints. E.J. Charles on the run, puts it in. And now St. Francis leads by 7. (13-5). St. Francis has outscored Roosevelt since the Lakers took their only lead today. Actually 14-5. Carter Fahey gets the steal. Throws it off to E.J. Charles. Fahey picks up his dribble, back to Charles. 15 on the shot clock. Fahey pulls up from the free throw line, misses the jumper. Rebound tipped by Charles, but into the hands of Shane Stevenson. Montez bounces down low. Ajiboye lost the handle for a moment, got it back. This is Ayo Ajiboye driving and fouled on his way up. 6:21 remaining in the first half. A physical first half, a battle of free throws right now. Timeout is called. It's a full timeout with 6:21 to play. St. Francis has a 7-point lead. They've led this one almost the whole way. The Lakers on a three-pointer took a 17-15 lead about 4 minutes ago, game time-wise, and since then, Fighting Saints have turned up the heat, and they've controlled this one. 8 points for Lewis McGlasson on 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of those from beyond the three-point line. Leads the way for St. Francis. They've also gotten 6 and 4 rebounds from Aitor Anabadarte. Roosevelt paced so far by Ayo Ajiboye. He's got 6 points, but those all came very early. In fact, it was the first 3 field goals of the game for Roosevelt, all belonging to Ajiboye, but he has not hit since then. He's 3 of 5 from the field. The rest of the team now 5 for 13. 44% overall for Roosevelt. St. Francis is shooting an impressive 56% from the field so far. They're also out-rebounding Roosevelt 13-8. They've looked good so far. You can certainly see the difference between today and their first game of the season against Calumet St. Joe's 2 weeks ago, November the 9th. Their first regular season contest. They were playing their first game of the season later than most teams. And so I think there was a little bit of rust on them, but they've had a chance to shake that off a little bit over the last few weeks, and they've looked much smoother so far today. Saints go to the bench here. They bring in Ibrahim Mobayed for the first time. Freshman out of Plainfield East High School. And Arnold Agard, returning player from last year. Senior guard. It's out there for the first time as well. So I take that back. That's not Arnold Agard. That's Justin Phillips. He transferred in from Alfred University in his first season with the program. Phillips is out there for the first time. Second free throw misses from Ajiboye. He makes 1 of 2. He's got 7 points. Nadav Gurner walks it to the right and hands it to Darius Wright. Wright curls it around Ajiboye. Turn around, up with the right hand and in for Ibrahim Mobayed. His first collegiate points. Shane Stevenson, 1 dribble, handoff to Lucas Jordan. Jordan guarded by Gurner, passes off to the right side. Stevenson along the baseline, stripped by Mobayed, and a foul call.
St. Francis foul, number 10, Ibrahim Mobayed, his first, team's 10.
Double bonus now for Roosevelt. Shane Stevenson will get a pair of free throws. Stevenson's got 5 points so far today. One of 2 from the line so far this year, and he hits his first. He's already above his season scoring average with his 6 points in just 7 minutes played so far tonight. He's 2 of 2. Roosevelt's hanging around, down by just 6. Against the press, Justin Phillips is able to get it across half court with 2 seconds to spare, but Nadav Gurner is intercepted by Shane Stevenson. Stevenson passes off to Lucas Jordan. Jordan pulls up low and back outside to Ayo Ajiboye. Three-pointer, Montez rattles it in. First 3 points of the game for Julio Montez, who came in averaging 16 per contest. Justin Phillips bounces it to Aitor Anabadarte as the Saints set up their offense. It's Darius Wright up to Phillips. Lobbed in for Anabadarte, high post, turn around with the right hand, gets inside, misses off the glass, grabs his own miss and blocked by Stevenson. What a first half here for Shane Stevenson. 1 possession game here as Roosevelt takes control. Montez dribbles it to the top, passes inside, Ajiboye working against Mobayed, and he's a little bit too soft off the backboard. Aitor Anabadarte is hit across the face and fouled. He's a little bit shaken up. I think he got hit in the right eye. He'll get 1 and 1 on the other end. Saints still in the single bonus right now. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia is coming in for Aitor Anabadarte. I don't know what the call is here. Maybe did they not call a foul? Were they just stopping because Anabadarte was hurt on the play? I guess they just blew the whistle because Aitor Anabadarte reached up and grabbed his face. He might be bleeding. I think they're going to go clean him up. So they didn't actually call a foul. So that's why no free throws here for the Fighting Saints. Darius Wright trapped across half court, able to bounce it off to Mobayed. Inside, turn around, up with the right hand, no, rebound Stevenson. Stevenson thought about the long 3. Instead he drives, loses the ball, and it's picked up by Darius Wright. It's 2-on-2, Wright takes it inside himself, no good. Offensive rebound, Nadav Gurner pulls it back out. Gurner to Phillips, open look from 3-point range, no good. And a loose ball foul is called on Roosevelt. Under 4 minutes to play in the first half. And Nadav Gurner will get free throws here. That's the team's 9th, so it'll be 1 and 1 here for Gurner. 3 points so far in the game for Gurner, including 1 of 2 on free throws. Nadav Gurna, the junior from Israel. It's another chance right here. Needs to make the first to get a second. And he does, so he will. Four-point lead for the Fighting Saints. 4 points for Nadav Gurna, who are led by Lewis McGlassen's 8. Gurna goes 2 for 2. Adjaboye inside, guarded by Mobayed. He dribbles it off his foot, and a loose ball is picked up by Phillips. Phillips slows it down, fires into the corner. This is Darius Wright. Step back three. No, but a foul. A foul is called on Darius Wilson, on Darius Wright shooting the three-pointer. So Wright will go to the line for 3 shots. A Darius on Darius foul. Wright today has 2 points. He does not add to that total on the first free throw. 2 more coming. Both teams in the double bonus now. Something you don't often see in the first half of a game. Both teams committing 10 or more fouls. Wright misses the first 2. And finally does knock in the third. So Darius Wright goes 1 of 3. He's got 3 points, and the Saints have a 6-point advantage. Julio Montez, guarded by Nadav Gurna, works to the left side, gets around 2 defenders, floats it up, too short. Rebound, grabbed by Mobayed, and he's fouled on the play. So a foul called, I believe, on Ayo Adjaboye. It is on Adjaboye, it's first. And again, the Saints are in the double bonus. So Ibrahim Mobayed will get 2 free throws. First one is no good. It's been a stilted first half, especially these last 10 minutes or so. A lot of stops to the action. Mobayed misses both free throws, and the rebound is grabbed by Nwosu. Julio Montez working against Darius Wright, carried it. That's 10 turnovers committed by Roosevelt. St. Francis has committed 9. We've seen a lot of turnovers. We've seen a lot of fouls. Like I said, kind of a stilted half so far. Not a lot of flow to this one. But the Saints have the 6-point lead. Darius Wright gets it inside to Rayhana Maxwell-Topia. 3 defenders around him underneath the basket. He kicks it out to McGlassen. McGlassen drives in the paint, tries to give it up to Mobayed, but to no avail. It's stolen. Darius Wilson cuts inside. Wilson is blocked from behind. Loose ball picked up by Adjaboye, who's fouled going up. First foul on Lewis McGlasson, 2 free throws for Ayo Adjaboye. Adjaboye has 7 points today, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He makes the first 2 to make it a 5-point game. Tyrese Spencer is back in for the Lakers. Adjaboye got off to a very hot start today. Been quiet since then. Hasn't had a field goal since the first couple of minutes. 1 of 2 from the line there. Jalen Reno is hassled by Montez. Works his way all the way inside though and lays it in. Jalen Rayno does a good job sticking with it and extending the lead to 7. Saints' biggest lead of the game is 8. Montez, pull-up three-pointer, right on the money. Second three-pointer of the game for him. He's got 6 points. We're just about in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Close one today. St. Francis has led the whole way as Rayno steps back, misses on the jumper. It's rebounded by the Lakers. Three-pointer from Montez again. A quick one that time, but he's feeling it. And he hits his 3rd of the first half. He's got 9 points to lead all scorers. And Ryan Marks calls timeout for the Fighting Saints. A minute 45 to play in the first half. St. Francis leads 36-35. And as I was just saying, the Saints have led pretty much the entire way here, but it's been close the whole time. They have not pulled away. The Lakers have been right there. Very, very similar first half statistically. Roosevelt is 11 of 24 from the field. St. Francis 11 of 25. Saints right now are a +4 from the free throw line, but Roosevelt has made up that gap by hitting 5 of 7 3-point attempts. They're just 6 of 17 from inside the arc, about 35% on two-pointers, but they're at 46% from three-point range. Or, sorry, 71% from three-point range, 46% overall. Lewis McGlasson out of the timeout, passes up top to Rihanna Maxwell Topia. 15 on the shot clock as Maxwell Topia bounces it to the right side. In the corner, working the baseline, steps back and fires across to Darius Wright. Step back three for Wright, comes up a little bit short. Rebound tipped around and brought down by Ayo Ajiboye. Roosevelt's got a chance to reclaim the lead here. Rayno knocks it loose, but Montez picks up the loose ball, misses off the glass on the runner, and the rebound brought in by Mobayed. Ibrahim Mobayed slows it down. Last minute of the first half. And we've got a foul on the defense away from the ball on Chima Nwosu. 2 free throws coming up for Rihanna Maxwell Topia. Second foul on Nwosu. Rihanna Maxwell Topia makes his second trip to the free throw line. Made both attempts last time around. He makes it a 2-point game after making the first. Balanced scoring for the Fighting Saints tonight. Already 9 different players have scored at least once. Maxwell Topia's got 4 points. 3-point lead. See if the Lakers work quickly to try to get another possession before halftime. Spencer takes it down the lane, tries to bounce it along the baseline to Nwosu, deflected, but Nwosu pulls it in and throws to Jared Borer, who is standing out of bounds. It's the second time today that a Laker has turned the ball over just by stepping on the sideline, unforced. Rayno passes over to McGlasson, up top to Maxwell Topia. Here's Mobayed with his back to the basket, working against Ajiboye, kicks it out to McGlasson. Now Darius Wright puts the ball on the floor, floats to the hoop, misses on the runner, rebound Roosevelt. Here's Spencer leading the way. Spencer gives it up to Montez. Montez thought about another three, instead he gives it up. Borer on the outside. 9 seconds to play in the half. Roosevelt trying to score before the buzzer. Spencer drives off the glass and in. And that's how the first half will end, on the Tyrese Spencer runner that makes it a 1-point game. Good first half. A lot of action going both ways, and as we head into the break, our score is St. Francis 38, Roosevelt 37. The Saints have led pretty much the entire way, but Roosevelt went on a nice little run to end the half here to cut it down to just 1 point. So this one's still very much up for grabs as we head into the second half. We'll have that second half action for you in about 15 minutes. I'll step aside. Until then, 1 point lead for the Saints at halftime. 1-point game at halftime. St. Francis leads Roosevelt 38-37. Terry Bonadonna back with you here on the USF Sports Network. Fighting Saints trying to start the year out 2-0. Roosevelt's trying to win their 4th conference game of the season. The Lakers led so far today by Julio Montez's 3 of 4 performance from beyond the three-point arc. He's got a game-high 9 points, 5 rebounds for Ayo Ajiboye. He's also got 8 points for the Lakers. Fighting Saints got a team-high 8 out of Lewis McGlasson on 3 of 4 shooting, but the story for St. Francis has been their balance. They've played 12 players tonight. 9 of them have scored, and of those 9, 8 have at least 1 field goal. 6 points, 6 rebounds for Aitor Anabararte. They've gotten 3 assists so far out of Darius Wright. Fighting Saints are shooting 41% overall from the field, 46% for Roosevelt, but it was a real back and forth, very physical first half. We saw 21 turnovers, 23 total fouls between these two teams. So when you're averaging over a foul and over a turnover per minute in a basketball game, it's probably not all that aesthetically pleasing, but it has been a fun game just because it's been so close throughout. The Saints have led almost from the beginning. Just 1 lead in the game so far for Roosevelt. Saints will try to keep it that way in the second half. And Nadav Gurner gets us started with a beautiful drive and layup. That hung on the rim forever. Finally fell for Gurner. He's got 6 points now. I think that's 7 points now for the Fighting Saints. Second highest scorer behind Lewis McGlasson, who had 8 off the bench in just 12 minutes played. Yuri Swinford passes it out to Montez. Montez, step back for 3. He hit another one. Julio Montez is 4 of 5 from 3-point range, and we are tied at 40. 4th time that we've been tied today. Steal for the Lakers. Here's Yuri Swinford. Swinford passes off to Lucas Jordan. His 3-pointer for the lead misses, and E.J. Charles takes it the other way. Charles fires it up top to Carter Fahey. Bounced back to E.J. Charles. Beautiful drive from E.J. Charles. A great cut after the pass, and he finishes with the layup at the rim. And a delay of game warning against E.J. Charles after he headed that ball following his make. I think he was just inspired by all the World Cup soccer he's seen this week. Delay of game warning just the same. So a 2-point lead for St. Francis on the Charles bucket. 7 points for him. Lakers nearly lost it. Ajiboye gets it back. A leaner around Aitor Anabararte is no good. Charles going the other way. Bounced into Carter Fahey, who finishes with the layup. Fahey gave one to Charles on the last possession, and E.J. Charles returns the favor. Carter Fahey's got his first points tonight. Shoveled off by Myers and intercepted by the Fighting Saints. He was trying to find Ajiboye. Couldn't get it to him, and Saints take it over. Darius Wright sends it inside to Charles. E.J. Charles backs in. Ajiboye was able to come up with a stop. It's knocked out of bounds. And that was last touched by Roosevelt. Ajiboye kind of sidestepped Charles right there. Charles actually had a clear shot, but he short-armed it. And then Ajiboye knocked it out of bounds. Here's Carter Fahey backing in. Fahey puts it up. Can't finish as it rolls around the rim and falls out. Montez around the screen, out to Swinford. Lakers down by 4 with the basketball. Swinford throws it away. Trying to get it into Ajiboye, but he lost his footing and then just threw it straight out. Carter Fahey throws it off to his left. This is Nadav Gerner into Aitor Anabararte. Aitor backs in, turns around, and banks it home. 8 points for the junior from Spain. Anabarte's having a nice game today, and D. Brown calls timeout. 46-40 our score, 16:48 to play in the second half. St. Francis has scored the last 6 points after the Julio Montes three-pointer tied it up. St. Francis is playing just its second game of the regular season today, but they'll pick up the pace going forward. They've got the annual Thanksgiving weekend event coming up Saturday and Sunday right here at the Sullivan Center before they return to conference action next week. Trying to win their second straight to open up the season. They had a tough win against Calumet St. Joseph back on November 9th. They trailed the majority of the game, but they came to life late, ended up with a 5-point victory. Today they've led more than 90% of the game. Bounced inside to Myers. He kicks it out to Swinford, and Swinford is well off on the three, but the rebound is tipped out to Matt Myers, who connects from short range. That missed three-pointer for Swinford actually benefited Roosevelt. It was off by so much that the rebound was able to be deflected back out to the Lakers. So that snaps that run of 6 in a row scored by the Saints. Fahey works his way inside. Fadeaway off the glass is good for Carter Fahey. Fahey did not score in the first half. He's got 4 points here in the second. Julio Montes works his way out. Now starts to push in, shovels it out to Swinford. Yuri Swinford drives, dishes at the last second to Ajaboye, who's blocked by E.J. Charles. Big time block by Charles. Saints trying to turn it into points on this end of the floor. It's Fahey to Anabararte. Down low to Charles. E.J. Charles spins up over Myers, comes up short. And the rebound goes to Swinford. Swinford lost the handle on it, but the Lakers got it back. Here's Julio Montes. Fouled by Charles. Swinford was fouled as Montes tried to get it into him up top. It's the first foul on St. Francis this half. We've seen just 2 fouls called in the first 5 minutes. After 23 total fouls were called in the first half. That is the third on E.J. Charles. So that was a risky maneuver from him coming in from behind and trying to force the steal. He has to check out for a little while as Lewis McGlasson returns to the floor. McGlasson had a big first half. 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting off the bench. Here's Shane Stevenson. He had a good first half off the bench for Roosevelt, and he's off to a good start in the second half as well. Nice little move down low. Stevenson's got 9 points in just 9 minutes tonight. McGlasson up to Anabararte. Down low, Carter Fahey. One dribble, off the glass and in. Carter Fahey has gotten hot here in the second half. 6 points for the senior. That's the lead for St. Francis. Stevenson surveys the scene, picks up the dribble and passes into the corner for Montes. Down low, Ajaboye. He's fouled by Fahey. Fahey heads to the bench after picking up his third foul. Ibrahim Mobayed comes back in. Jalen Reno returns to the floor for the Fighting Saints as well. Montes coming around the screen, down the lane, flips it over the outstretched arm of Mobayed and scores. Nicely done by Julio Montes, who's now got a game-high 14 points. Roosevelt, as they did in the first half, keeping it close here despite the St. Francis lead. Darius Wright uses the screen to the right, gives it up to Aitor Anabararte, and he's fouled going up. Second foul on Ayo Ajiboye. 2 free throws for Aitor Anabadarte, who's gone 4 of 4 from the line so far. First shot is good. Aitor Anabadarte's got 9 points to go along with a game-high 7 rebounds. Second shot is good. He remains perfect from the line. Saints are 16 of 21 on free throws, helping to keep them in the lead here. Jared Borer drives, picks up his dribble, fires it outside. Ajiboye hands it to Montez. Julio Montez gets the screen, sends it back outside. Stevenson misses on the 3. Rebound to Jalen Reno. Reno puts the ball behind his back, sends it inside for Mobayed, who lays it in. Beautiful assist, Jalen Reno, and Ibrahim Mobayed has his second bucket of the night. 8-point lead for the Fighting Saints. This match is their biggest of the night. Tyrese Spencer passes it around. This is Jared Borer trying to penetrate around McGlasson, puts it off the backboard and scores. Good drive from Jared Borer. He's got his second bucket today. Reno sets things up for the Fighting Saints, passes up top to Anabadarte. Mobayed picks up his dribble. Reno with under 10 on the shot clock, steps back for 3, blocked by Ajiboye, and secured by Roosevelt. The ball is loose on the floor, kicked by the Fighting Saints. 12-18 to play in this one. It's been a thriller. Saints have led most of the time, but never by more than 8. It has primarily been a 1 or a 2 score game. Rihanna Maxwell Topia is back in. E.J. Charles returns to the floor. He'll play with 3 fouls for a little while. This is Montez, bouncing it off to Stevenson on the left wing. Back up top to Montez. He steps into a 3, comes up short, rebounded by E.J. Charles. Charles carries it down the floor for the Fighting Saints and passes off to the right. Gets the feed right back from Reno. Into the corner, McGlasson. Too strong on the 3. Offensive rebound, Maxwell Topia. Rihanna Maxwell Topia dribbles to the left. Gives it off to McGlasson underhand. McGlasson fires across court to Charles. 6 on the shot clock. E.J. Charles hoists a 3. It's too strong. Another offensive rebound. This one for Mobayed. Down low, it's McGlasson. Defenders all around him. He's fouled. Put himself at a very awkward angle to shoot there, but he drew the foul anyway, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Second foul on Jared Borer. It's the 3rd against Roosevelt. McGlasson will try to enter double figures with a couple of free throws. First one is good. Seven-point lead for the Fighting Saints, and McGlasson makes it 8. He's got 10 points. Second Saint to hit that number today. Big possession here for Roosevelt. Starting to get just a little bit late in this game. I don't want to see St. Francis continue to distance themselves. It's a drive and a foul called with Montez on his way up for the shot. So Julio Montez makes his way to the free throw line. Montez has missed just 2 foul shots this year. He's a 91% shooter. First one is good this time around. 56-49. Montez leads all scorers in this game with 15 points. And he adds one more. He's keeping Roosevelt alive right now. The freshman guard, Julio Montez, out of Lincoln Park High School in Chicago. E.J. Charles throws it away. Trying to find Mobayed, but he was a little wide on the pass. And so the Fighting Saints turn it over. After a spate of turnovers in the first half, that's just their second in the second half. It's been a much cleaner second half here. Shane Stevenson's foul going up. I mean that for both teams. Not as many turnovers, not as many fouls, although the Saints did just pick up their fifth. Free throw shooting's been a big factor in this game because there have been so many fouls. St. Francis at 78%. Roosevelt at just 67% so far as Shane Stevenson misses on the first. Stevenson's another impressive freshman. A lot of seniors in key positions on this team. 4 of their 5 starters are seniors. Stevenson makes the second free throw, but both Montez and Stevenson are freshmen. So is Jared Borer. Those guys are all a big part, you would think, of this Roosevelt future. Reno throws it off to Maxwell Topia, the left elbow. He hands it to McGlasson coming around from the left side. Down low, Mobayed is blocked. Stevenson comes away with the block. And Roosevelt can make it a one-score game on this possession. Montez bounces to Jared Borer. Borer works his way in with the right hand, crosses over to the left, turnaround jumper, rattles around, does not fall. Rebound tips to the sideline, kept alive by Reno, who flings it down the floor to Rayana Maxwell Topia. Back to Reno. He fakes the three, works inside, up with the left hand, no good. Quick possession there for the Fighting Saints. We're under 10 minutes to play in this game. And the Saints still lead. Just a 5-point game. It was a 1-point lead at halftime. Montez misses a three-pointer. That's a rare sight right there. Nice ball work by Reno, taking it the other direction. McGlasson for three. It's good. Third of the game for Lewis McGlasson. And the Saints lead is back up to 8, matching the biggest of the game. 59-51, a big three-pointer for Lewis McGlasson. Yuri Swinford loses it on the other end, knocked out by E.J. Charles with 19 on the shot clock. It'll stay with Roosevelt. Swinford will be the inbounder. Into Montez. Montez drives and kicks. Swinford thought about the three, spins around Maxwell Topia. He's fouled by E.J. Charles, and that's number 4 on Charles. Two foul shots coming up for Yuri Swinford. That's the 6th foul on St. Francis, so Roosevelt will be in the bonus from here on out. Swinford is a good free throw shooter. I don't think I jinxed him, but he misses the first one here. 79% on the season. Charles has to sit down with his 4 fouls as Aitor Anabararte comes back in. Matt Myers and Chima Nwosu return to the floor for the Lakers. Free throw is good the second time around. 7-point game. 59-52. Nadav Gerner handling the ball for St. Francis. Lewis McGlasson is trapped, and it's stolen. Taken away by Myers. Myers takes it inside, and he's fouled. Aitor Anabararte sends Matt Myers to the free throw line. Myers is 1 of 2 from the line so far tonight. Ryan Marks very vocal right now. Not happy that a foul was not called when the ball was taken away from Lewis McGlasson. And then is a turnover, the 13th of the game. First free throw misses for Myers. It's a 7-point lead for St. Francis right now. They are +6 from the free throw line. Roosevelt's inability to take advantage of their free opportunities has been huge. They do make one of two here, 59-53. Saints break the press, getting it across half court to Ibrahim Mobayed. Here's Nadav Gerner. Gerner walks it to the left side and gives it up to Aitor Anabadarte. Shot clock is down to 10. Lewis McGlasson guarded tightly by Matt Myers, not giving them space for another three. 3 to shoot. Anabadarte is fouled on the floor. Bad foul by Chima Nwosu. With the shot clock at just 2, and Anabadarte really in no position to get a shot up. The foul resets the shot clock to 20. That's just the 4th on Roosevelt, so the Saints are not yet in the bonus. Starters back on the floor for St. Francis. Fahey and Wright return to action. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia is the only non-starter in for E.J. Charles, who's got 4 fouls right now. Gerner into Anabadarte. Aitor Anabadarte backs down against 2 defenders, fights it up and scores. 12 points for Aitor Anabadarte. Montez gives it up to Swinford. 3-pointer is good. Big 3 for Roosevelt. No matter what they've done, they just haven't seemed to be able to cut into this St. Francis lead. Every time they score, the Saints seem to respond. We'll see if that's the case again right here. Rihanna Maxwell-Topia bounces to Darius Wright. Cross court, Nadav Gerner. Gerner kicks it out to Wright. Shot clock into single digits here. Gerner takes the 3. It's short. Gerner not typically a big shooter from the outside. A good look that time, though, and just came up a little bit short with it. On this side of the floor, Nwosu is fouled. He'll get 2 free throws with 7 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. He makes them both. It'll be a 1-possession game. Second foul called on Rihanna Maxwell-Topia. That's 8 against the Fighting Saints for the half. Chima Nwosu at the line for 2 shots. Nwosu makes the first. He is 1 of 2 at the line today. Back-to-back free throws made by Roosevelt. It has not been their strong suit today, but they're starting to hit them now in the critical moments down the stretch. Ryan Marks calls for a timeout with 7:40 to play. Fighting Saints still in the lead, but Roosevelt is starting to inch closer now. 61-57 our score. Saints have led by as many as 8. They held that 8-point lead on several occasions, but they have not pushed any further than that. It has been somewhere between a 3 and 6 point game for the vast majority of this one. It has been awfully tight, which has made it awfully entertaining. A very competitive basketball game today between St. Francis and Roosevelt. These teams split their 2 meetings last year. The Saints are trying to take the opener between the two of them this year. They will make a trip up to downtown Chicago on February 1st. And they'll play the second of 2 meetings with each other then. 13 points for Lewis McGlasson leads the way for the Fighting Saints today. Aitor Anabadarte right behind him with 12. Julio Montez has 16 for Roosevelt, but he's gone cold after hitting 4 of his first 5 3-point attempts. He's missed 2 in a row. Chima Nwosu is at the free throw line, just a 58% foul shooter. He made the first on this trip. Second one right here to make it a 3-point game. He does. 61-58. Big possession now for St. Francis as Roosevelt has cut into their lead. They've scored 5 straight points. Something they haven't been able to do very well today. At least here in the second half. Usually they score, St. Francis responds. Not last time. This time the Saints do respond thanks to a beautiful feed to a cutting Darius Wright, who makes a very impressive play at the hoop. The reverse layup for Darius Wright gives him 5 points and gives the Saints a 5-point margin of lead. This is Matt Myers working against McGlasson. Myers spins his way inside and scores off the glass. Good work down low for Matt Myers, who's had a quiet day. He's in and out of foul trouble early. He's got 6 points now, though, for the Lakers. Anabadarte hands it to Gerner. Gerner passes off to Carter Fahey. Fahey takes it down the baseline. Backing in on Nwosu. Turnaround jumper, gets the roll. Carter Fahey's got 8, all of them here in the second half. St. Francis has gone back to the old call and response. Roosevelt scores, the Saints answer. Swinford drives on Fahey. Swinford has his feet stuck, has to pass out, and it's deflected out of bounds by St. Francis. 8 on the shot clock, just over 6 minutes to play in the game. Roosevelt has it on the sideline. Swinford inbounds to Myers. Not a lot of time here. Myers has to work quickly. Throws it outside to Swinford with the shot clock running down. Swinford misses the three-pointer, and the rebound is grabbed by Aitor Anabadarte. Saints can add to their lead right here. 5-point edge with under 6 minutes to play. Starting to get late for real now. McGlasson bounces it in to the post. It's Anabadarte. Working down low, he cannot finish, but he does draw the foul. This one on Ayo Ajiboye. No, it's called on Julio Montez. So Montez is called for his second foul. It's only the 4th on the team. And Roosevelt takes the timeout. It's a full timeout with 5 minutes, 33 seconds to play. St. Francis clutching onto this 5-point lead. They've trailed only very briefly today, and most recently at 17-15. They responded to that by going on a 14-5 run, and they've been in control ever since. 13 points, Lewis McGlasson, 12 for Aitor Anabadarte. Roosevelt's got 2 in double figures as well, 16 for Julio Montez and 10 for Shane Stevenson off the bench. Aitor Anabadarte will be at the free throw line for 2 shots. Coming out of this timeout, Anabadarte is 6 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. He not only leads the team in scoring, he leads this whole game in rebounds with 8. Saints are plus 10 on the boards, 32-22. They've out-rebounded Roosevelt. It's been a big factor in this game. They have outshot Roosevelt by 5, in large part because of all of their offensive rebounds. Roosevelt coming into play today have been out-rebounding their opponents for the season. So the fact that the Saints have been able to hold them at bay in that regard has been pretty impactful. Anabadarte heads to the line coming out of the timeout. Both teams back on the floor. He'll get 2 shots right here. It was a shooting foul. First one is good. He stays perfect. 7 of 7 from the line. Saints still out shooting Roosevelt on free throws. It's been big. 67-60. It's a 3-score game once again. Still plenty of possessions left in this one for Roosevelt. Montez passes off to the right. And it's dribbled out of bounds by Jared Borer. Anabadarte was there on defense, but he didn't touch the ball. Borer just lost it. And it's a Lakers turnover. Saints are trying to pull away from the Lakers late. Carter Fahey sends it into a cutting Anabadarte, who's blocked by Adjaboye. Big block by Ayo Adjaboye right there. Starting to break the other direction. Borer down low to Nwosu. Back out to Swinford, and he hits his second three-pointer. 9 points for Yuri Swinford. He's now 2 of 4 from three-point range. His first 2 attempts were ugly, but his last 2 have been perfect. Darius Wright on the wing. Down low to Aitor Anabadarte, who's immediately double-teamed and fouled. Fifth foul on the Lakers. Shot clock sets to 20. Nadav Gurner will inbound. He gets it into Carter Fahey. Fahey starts to work inside. Ball knocked away, and a foul is called on Chima Nwosu. That's the 6th on the Lakers. 4th on Nwosu. So the next one will send the Saints to the line. This one creates an out-of-bounds play. Gurner into Lewis McGlasson. McGlasson's pass is deflected out of bounds by Yuri Swinford. 15 to shoot here for the Fighting Saints. Lewis McGlasson flings it into Aitor Anabadarte. He hands it to Nadav Gurner. Carter Fahey double team. Fahey works his way back outside. Shot clock at 5. Fahey drives with the left hand, kicks it out to Darius Wright. 3-point attempt. Rims out. Rebound Shane Stevenson. Here's Yuri Swinford. Swinford kicks it outside. Nwosu gets around Gurner and lays it in. It is just a 2-point game as Roosevelt has scored the last 5. Big offensive possession for the Fighting Saints, and Ryan Marks knows it. He calls timeout to try to set something up here for St. Francis. 3:40 to play, 67-65 St. Francis in front, and it just feels like we've been here all night. St. Francis will go on a little run to go up by 5 or 7 or 8, and then Roosevelt will respond. They'll cut that deficit to 1 or 2. They have not really been able to get over the hump and take the lead, not having done that since early in the first half, but they have made St. Francis work for it tonight. Fighting Saints outscored Roosevelt 38-37 in the first half. Here in the second half, they've outscored them 29-28. It's been a much better offensive half. Both teams are shooting the ball better, 50% each, in fact, here in the second half. The biggest difference, though, for Roosevelt, and the reason they've been able to stay in this game so well, is three-point shooting. 8 of 16 from three-point range. St. Francis is just 3 of 14. And that mitigates the fact that the Saints have created a lot more second chances with offensive rebounds. They've forced more turnovers. And they've shot the ball better from two-point range. Not to mention the free throws, which I've talked about all night. St. Francis currently +5 from the free throw line. They've gotten 20 points there. Roosevelt's gotten 15. .23 on the shot clock for St. Francis. They inbound it from the near sideline. Aitor Anabadarte is the trigger man. Gets it into E.J. Charles, who's back on the floor for the first time in about 6 minutes, ever since he picked up his 4th foul. Jalen Reno passes off to Charles on the left. Charles hands it back to Reno. Shot clock at 10, the alley-oop, and they're able to finish with the layup from E.J. Charles. Not exactly the way they drew it up, but pretty close. Charles was able to flick it up. He received that ball coming down. He extends the lead to 4. Yuri Swinford spins inside, and he's fouled. That's the 4th on Carter Fahey. So both Fahey and Charles have 4 now. E.J. Charles has 9 points after the alley-oop on the last possession. Swinford's first shot bounces around the rim and eventually falls. This to make it a 2-point game. Swinford's got 11 points. He's got a barn burner here with just over 3 minutes to play. Aitor Anabadarte hands it off to Jalen Reno. He'll set it up here. Anabadarte down low to E.J. Charles. He bounces it to the outside. Reno for 3. It's good. And now the Saints need a stop. Trying to keep this lead at 5. Roosevelt's been scoring well of late. Montez misses on the runner, and the rebound is brought in by Aitor Anabadarte. So 1 and done for Roosevelt. It was exactly the sequence the Saints needed. The 3-pointer, the stop, and now they can run a little bit of time off the clock as they try to extend the lead back to 7 or 8. Lob down low for Fahey. Fahey was held by Chima Nwosu. And that's on the floor, but it'll be the 5th foul on Nwosu. So Nwosu fouls out, 4 points and 4 rebounds in 17 minutes for him. And Carter Fahey's got a 1-and-1 from the line. Front end is good. Free throws continue to be a positive for St. Francis. They're at better than 80% for the night. One more shot for Fahey. He's got them both. Saints have scored 5 in a row. They've opened up a 7-point lead here. Still a lot of time remaining on the clock as Roosevelt tries to respond to this little Fighting Saints run. Yuri Swinford gives it to Montez. Around the screen, Julio Montez fires a 3. Off the mark, rebound tipped around, and E.J. Charles grabs it out of the air. He's fouled. Good look for Julio Montez, who was hitting him at will earlier. He's missed his last 3 3-point attempts. And that one hurt because it was a good-looking shot. And he just couldn't quite get it. E.J. Charles grabbed the rebound, and now the Saints have a chance to extend their lead further. This is a 1-and-1, so the first free throw is huge. And it's no good. Aitor Anabadarte is called for going over the back, and that means Roosevelt will get free throws on the other end. That's the double bonus now for Roosevelt, so this means 2 free throws. And what a turnaround right here without any time running off the clock. The Saints go from a chance at taking a 9-point lead to Roosevelt getting a chance to make it just a 5-point game. It was just a minute ago, just over a minute ago game time, that Yuri Swinford knocked down 2 free throws to make this a 2-point deficit. But in the 70 or so seconds of game action after that, it seemed like St. Francis had wrested control very firmly back, taking the 7-point lead and sending Charles to the line for free throws. Charles missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Now it's Swinford on the other end. He'll get 2 shots regardless. Swinford's been good from the line. He's 3 of 4, including making his last 3 in a row. And now he's made 4 in a row. Swinford's got 12 points. Second shot to make it a 5-point game is good. 74-69, St. Francis has the lead and the ball. Stripped by Shane Stevenson out of bounds. He knocked it away from Darius Wright, but it'll stay with St. Francis. E.J. Charles ready to inbound. Into Jalen Reno. Reno cuts inside, lays it up and in. Lead is back to 7 for St. Francis. Trying to finish out Roosevelt in the closing 90 seconds. Huge possession for the Lakers. They need a bucket badly here. This is Borer with the fadeaway from the baseline. A tricky shot for Jared Borer, but it pays off. And now the Lakers need a stop. Instead, a foul called on Borer, getting in a little bit too close on Darius Wright. 9th team foul, so Wright gets a 1-and-1. If he can make 2 here and make it a 3-score game, Roosevelt's in big trouble. But he's got to make the first just to get a second shot. Saints already missed the front end of the 1-and-1 just a few moments ago. This time Darius Wright hits on the first. 77-71. 73 seconds remaining. And Darius Wright got them both. If Roosevelt doesn't score here, they pretty much need to start fouling immediately. And they'd be in bad shape. Bounced into Ajiboye, who lays it up and misses. Second chance, got it, and a foul. A huge offensive rebound. The tip in for Ayo Ajiboye gives him a chance at a 3-point play. Fourth foul on Aitor Anabadarte, so the entire front court for St. Francis is playing with 4 fouls. Anabadarte, Charles, and Fahey all have committed 4. Ajiboye on the free throw makes it a 3-point play and a 4-point game. And because they got those 3 points here, the Lakers do not need to foul. They're going to go for the steal. Saints are able to get it across half court. Jalen Reno flips it across court to Darius Wright, and Wright will run some clock here. Back to Reno. Lakers playing tight defense as Reno starts to make a move to the right. Shot clock's at 10. Bounce down low to Fahey. Fahey, turnaround, short. Rebounded by Yuri Swinford. Here come the Lakers with 30 seconds on the clock. Borer for 3, got it. And it's a 1-point game. Over the course of 30 seconds, the Lakers have scored 6 consecutive points and cut a 7-point deficit down to 1. It's 78-77 with just 29.5 on the clock. That means the shot clock is off, which means that if the Lakers don't get the quick steal, they are going to have to foul to elongate this game. They put on the full court pressure on that last possession. And it caused a little bit of trouble for the Fighting Saints as they tried to get it across half court, but the Saints were able to beat the trap. I would think they'll go for the quick steal. If they don't get that, there's still enough time on the clock that they could wait it out a little bit, try to get the 10-second violation, or go for a couple of steals. They're certainly not in a position where they have to foul as soon as St. Francis gets the ball in. Still a long way to go in this game. And I said it way back in the first half, this game might come down to free throws. It certainly has, and it certainly will. St. Francis 24 of 30 from the line tonight. Roosevelt is 20 of 28. And a lot of good foul shooters are on the floor right now for the Fighting Saints. There's nobody out there at the moment that D. Brown would want to send to the line. DJ Charles missed a critical one a little bit ago, but he has been very good from the foul line over the last couple of years. Thrown out of bounds by Reno. The clock started, it should not have. We should reset it to 29.5. The clock started to run as soon as the Saints made the initial pass, but that was not an inbounds pass. You're allowed after a made basket to use the entirety of that baseline. And so the initial pass from Anabadarte to Reno along the baseline out of bounds was a legal play, but then Reno fired it out of bounds. So it's a turnover, and now Roosevelt has the ball with a chance to take the lead for the first time since it was 17 to 15. Inbounded to Swinford. Swinford drives with the left hand, gets inside, lays it in, and Roosevelt has the lead. The first time in 30 minutes of game action that they're ahead. 18 seconds on the clock. St. Francis is playing it out. No timeout called. Carter Fahey drives with the right hand. Fahey gives it up to Anabadarte, deflected out of bounds, and last touch by the Saints. With 10 seconds on the clock, it'll be Roosevelt basketball. The Lakers were down by 7 with 1 minute left in this game. But a very critical three-point play on an offensive rebound and a putback started their run. And then a three-pointer on their next possession after the Saints were unable to score. And then St. Francis turned it over. This one has gone both ways. The Lakers have really made plays when they've needed to. St. Francis has not. That turnover on the inbounds play was crucial. They decided not to call a timeout, down by 1, getting the ball back with 20 seconds left. And it was a good drive from Carter Fahey trying to set up Aitor Anabadarte, but the defender got his hand in there and knocked it away, and apparently Anabadarte got it last before it went out of bounds. Lakers are in the double bonus, so they'll get 2 free throws on any foul here. Free throws were a struggle for them early, but they've turned that around. Let's see if Ayo Ajiboye is on the floor. He's one of their top offensive players, but he's their worst free throw shooter. If he's out there, that certainly is the guy that the Saints would want to foul, and he is not. So based on who they've got out there right now, pick your poison. These guys are all very strong shooters. Saints obviously will try to force the turnover first, but with just 10 seconds left, they have to foul immediately. And they do. Darius Wright after they get it into Tyrese Spencer. The big difference between inbounding with 10 seconds to go and the way that St. Francis was inbounding it a few moments ago with 30 seconds to go. With 10, if you don't steal the inbounds pass, you have no choice but to foul right away. And whoever catches that inbounds play has got to be sent to the line. It's Tyrese Spencer, who has only missed once all year. Even if he makes them both, though, it is still a one-score game. Spencer makes the first one here. He is 15 of 16 from the foul line this season. No rebounders for Roosevelt. So if he does miss, the Saints will be likely able to grab it as long as they box out the shooter. And they'll work quickly the other way. Spencer's second shot is short, rebounded by Charles. 6 seconds to go. Ahead to Reno. Reno sends it into Anabadarte. Layup, no. The follow, Fahey misses it. And Roosevelt takes out St. Francis 80-78. A stunner here at the Sullivan Center. After the Saints led the entire way, Roosevelt takes the lead with just about 20 seconds left. And the Saints had a chance to send it to overtime or win it in the final seconds. Ryan Marks decided for the second time in a row not to call timeout, and it played out the way that he wanted to. That's why you don't call timeout. It's hard for the defense to get back and get set in that situation, and the Saints got two beautiful looks at it. Aitor Anabadarte maybe rushed it a little bit, missed the layup, and Carter Fahey was in perfect position on the follow. He just banked it a little bit too hard off the glass. So St. Francis's perfect season comes to a close. They are 1-1 now for the year, and 1-1 in conference play. Roosevelt improves to 5-3. They're now 4-1 in conference action, and Roosevelt now has won 4 consecutive games. Credit to them for not going down quietly today. They were down by 7 points with 1 minute to play, and they fought their way back, ending the game on a 9-0 run to defeat St. Francis 80-78. Final totals from tonight: Saints shot 46% overall, just 4 of 15 from three-point range. That really killed them. Roosevelt 49% overall, 9 for 18 on three-pointers. They were led by Julio Montez and his 16 points. Montez 4 of 8 on three-point shooting. Saints were led by Aitor Anabadarte, who finished with 14 points and 9 rebounds tonight. Lewis McGlasson chipped in with 13. Carter Fahey had 10. Both Anabadarte and Fahey, though, I'm sure will be kicking themselves tonight for not finishing. Not that either of those was an easy shot, but you got a chance to tie the game and send it to overtime. A frustrating finish for the Fighting Saints. Again, they fall to 1-1 on the season as they go down to Roosevelt by a final score of 80-78. Saints will take a quick break from conference action over the Thanksgiving weekend. They'll return to this floor on Saturday against Lourdes University, and then they'll play Eureka College on Sunday as part of the USF Thanksgiving Classic. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. It was a whale of a ball game. Unfortunately, does not go the way of the home team as they fall to the Lakers of Roosevelt University by a final score of 80-78. 6 o'clock Saturday nights, the start time for our next broadcast as the USF Thanksgiving Classic kicks off with St. Francis and Lourdes right here in Joliet. Until then, Terry Bonadonna signing off for the evening. Have a good night.